Hey, Mike, what's going on, man?
Not too much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I love your story, man. Your story is one of those things where people think of the NBA as glitz and glamour, and they think about, you know, getting there and stuff like that. But you had a path, and your journey wasn't your typical journey for an NBA player. And I mean, that shows your character, that shows your makeup and your build, and you're just being persistent. When you're coming out of high school, out of Canada, out of Windsor, what was that process like being recruited, the lack of being recruited? What was your mindset? What was your frame of mind when you were going through that process?
Yeah, my journey has been a little bit different, as you said. During that time, my mindset was just as it's always been, just kind of put one foot in front of the other, focus on the next day, make each day count. But obviously, the lack of recruiting, I took a different route. I decided to go junior college. I figured that was an opportunity for me to get better, work on my body, work on my skills, and then obviously raise my ceiling and see where I could end up. And that worked out for me well. Obviously, my recruiting picked up a little bit in my second year at Vincennes. So I was just very focused, especially at Vincennes, at stacking good days on top of each other. That was something that my coach had really instilled in us, not to worry too much about, the recruiting or what's going to happen after this, but we got to worry about what we're doing now, and our success now will lead to our success later. So that was basically my mindset coming out. And that's something I've continued to cherish and hold with me.
College in itself is tough as hell, but what was some of the tough things that you experienced in Kentucky?
One of the toughest things I think would be, like Cal said, every game is going to be your Super Bowl, right? Every time a team comes into Rupp to play you guys, like this is their opportunity. Every individual player feels it on the other team. So if every individual player doesn't feel it on our team, we're going to have a long night. And, I felt like that was so true. Guys would come in and they just be ready to go crazy and Rupp because they know, this is going to improve my life. So that was one thing that was tough. You're always going to get another team's best. And that's something that causes everybody around me to rise to the challenge and, band together and get united and, just try to do anything we can possible to come out with a win. And that was one of the things that was tough about being over there.
But don't take this the wrong way. I hate Kentucky. I had one of the worst experiences. I went to Villanova. I had one of the worst experiences in my life at
Yeah.
Kentucky. Rick Pitino was the coach, and they beat us by like 40 points. I had 10 turnovers. Oh, I can't. And I was just like you're talking about. I was like, if I play good this game, oh man, the door is wide open. They shut my whole dreams down. They shut everything down. So no offense, but I hate Kentucky. But I love you, man. So I love. Do you think your journey, even the G, playing in the G, that helped your transition and made the NBA a seamless transition for you? Because it seems like soon you hit the court, your confidence was high, the game's rolling, and you're with a top-notch organization. Did that transition be eased a little bit by the G League and things like that?
Absolutely. I feel like the G League made the transition to the NBA a lot easier for me. I was ready for the speed of the game, the strength and toughness of the players. I feel like there's a lot of things that really helped me be prepared for when that moment came, and I didn't know when it would come. It was a long couple of years in the G, and you never know how it's going to turn out, good or bad. All you can do is, like I said, put stack good days on top of one another. At the end of the season, you see where you're at and evaluate and decide what you want to do next. And I just kept deciding I wanted to bet on myself and stay in America, stay close to the big teams. Because I hope that one day I would get my shot, and I knew that the G League had put me in a position where I would be ready when that day came. And fortunately enough, this season, almost near the end of our G League season, that day did come with the Warriors, and I was able to make the most of that opportunity.
Like I heard you say you bet on yourself, but how many days that you might have had some of those questions in yourself, others around you? Were you making the right decision with the time, opportunity to ever come? Were there any of those days you had to pick yourself up and keep moving forward?
Yeah, there were tons of those days. You never know when that moment will come. All you can do is continue to work and be prepared for that moment. But yeah, there were tons of those days, man. Those long bus rides that you take in the G. The flights. You consider it all. You consider the route that you're taking. This is difficult. I know a lot of guys that went across and made some good money overseas, and you obviously consider that, is that a better option? But honestly, I never really my faith never really wavered in that aspect. A lot of people had told me, I had old coaches and stuff like that tell me, after this year you should go across and get some money, like you're in in your second year, blah, blah. And, you know, I just kind of have faith that one day my time would come, and fortunately it did. But yeah, those days are definitely going to happen for guys going that path. And if I had advice for them, I would just say stay with it, man. You know, just you got more to look forward to than this rough bus ride right here. You know, there's another game after, there's a game after that, and you just got to make the most of each opportunity. And that's something I tried to do, and something I hold with me.
Are you watching The Last Dance?
Yeah, of course. I'm putting my shoes on and watching it on the couch like everybody else on Sunday, man.
Oh my God. And it's funny because Michael Jordan said one thing. He said, you know, a lot of these guys came in riding, you know, Chicago Bulls. They haven't been through what we've been through to win these championships. And now you're in a position where you're part of a team. They're not as up as they have been through injury and everything like that, but you're part of an organization. You're part of tradition. You're part of a legend, a legacy. What's that feeling like being amongst greatness day in and day out?
You know, it's been an incredible experience so far, even in just my small sample size of time with those guys. I know that those guys will make me so much better, and that's why I'm so excited to get back in the gym with them. But you know, you're right. Like Jordan said, and on that team, there's opportunity here. You know, you come in, you could ride the highs of what this team has done in the past 5 years, because they've done some special things, and now I'm a part of that. I could just walk in and ride that wave. But personally, with all the things I've been through, all the ups and downs, the uncertainty, from JUCO to the G League onward, you know, I don't feel like I have that right to ever ride that type of wave. It's my obligation coming in there to give them all, give them my best effort. You know, I have to give them everything that they demand of me in order to make sure we find that success again. You know, I didn't earn any of those championships. I wasn't part of any of those teams. So it's my job to make my mark right now. And, you know, I would be doing myself a disservice to come in and ride that wave of those guys, knowing the successes that they have, and knowing the opportunity that's in front of me to continue to roll and maintain that success. I would be doing myself a disservice to give them anything but my maximum effort.
Best believe, if they didn't think you could fit the mold, you wouldn't be there. And fit the mold, you've been doing, man. You walked in there. You've had some great games from the start, and then all this stuff happened. But when you were flowing and the shot was looking pretty, you're moving without the ball, you're doing all these things. I'm watching the first game. I'm living in Philadelphia, and I'm watching against the Sixers. I said, wow, man, this kid right here. I've heard the name, but I never really got a chance to see. But how was that feeling out there actually playing, moving, catching the ball, feeling the strength, feeling everything? I know you said you were prepared, but what was the actual feeling when you were out there boogieing?
You know, the feeling was amazing. It kind of felt like everything I've been working for over the past years was finally coming to fruition. And the fact that we had worked so hard in these last 3 years in the G League, the fact that I was so prepared for that moment was something that I found special. You know, I felt like it was a little bit seamless. Like I had done so much studying of Steph and Clay over my time, just as a shooter myself. I studied the way that they move without the ball and how they get their feet ready. You know, I studied the way that they're square to the basket almost at all times. The way that they set screens for one another and helps them and the other player get open. Things like that I've studied over the last few years. Just being able to come in and apply those things and find success with them over my 10-day, that was something that was special for me because, like I said, all the work that I had put in on the court, all the work I put in the film room, finally these things were coming to fruition for me. And, you know, it really showed. I could feel that I had gotten better since I became a pro. And was finally ready to make an impact and make that moment happen.
But I want to ask a few questions about, you know, your Canadian roots. You guys are a hotbed, man. You guys have so much talent and so many people that's in the NBA, and I'm sure it's only going to develop. Is there any subtle, quiet competition between guys? You check each other games out. You know each other personal. What's the relationship between a lot of you guys that's coming out of Canada that's in the NBA now?
You know, the relationship is great. You know, a lot of us have been through that Canada basketball circuit, so we know one another a little bit. But the relationship is great. I wouldn't say it's competition as much as it's, you know, we're trying to uplift each other, uplift the Canadian basketball in general. And, you know, growing up, you only saw a couple guys from Canada in the NBA. So when I turned on the television, all I saw was Steve Nash, right? There was no Canadian on every team and stuff like that. But watching the way that basketball has grown in Canada over the past 10 or so years, you know, it's been amazing. Obviously, my teammate now, Andrew, going #1, that was a high moment for us. We were really excited about that. Then my next teammate from Kentucky, Jamal, goes, and he's made such a crazy impact in Denver. You see the way he plays. He plays the edge to him. You know, some people don't like it, but what I really get from it is, you know, the kid is tough. And, you know, I've heard the whole, like, I've heard people say that Canada is, you know, they're soft, Canadians are soft and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that's why guys like him, they play with that type of edge. You know, we want to prove to the world that there's gems in Canada that you can find. You look around all these teams, you see some Canadians, and they're really making impacts, and that's something that we're all proud of. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily competition as much as we're just all proud to be where we're from and represent on the highest stage.
Thank you. It's an honor to be able to get a chance to talk to you, especially during these times, man. And I hope you're staying safe. I hope you remain safe. And I hope all continued success for you, man. And continue doing great things. And I'll be definitely looking out for you, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, man.